Hey, what's up, guys? Alright, so Fairy Tale 100 Year Quest Chapter 1 is out if you haven't heard. And dude, yo, I was so hyped when I was reading this chapter. I really was. Because regardless of how the fact the fandom has kind of turned against Fairy Tale since its ending, especially how disappointed most fans were with the ending, for the most part, I still love Fairy Tale. I still love the series as a whole, overall, despite the ending. I even kind of enjoyed the ending for the most part more than most fans did. So, when I heard that, it was coming out with a sequel and we finally got the sequel last night and I got to read it, I was so fucking excited. I couldn't contain myself because Fairy Tail is honestly one of my favorite manga series. And not only that, it's the manga series that basically jumpstarted the channel and started getting me views and started getting me subscribers. So, of course, when the chapter came out, I was going to read it and I was going to end up doing a video about it. And I'm just so excited that I'm kind of having a hard time finding the words to even, basically come up with for this video. But anyway, let's just try to get things together and talk about the chapter in this review. Okay, so right off the bat, we get this really well done color page of this destroyed village. We see people hanging off of trees or like kind of tied to tree posts. Dead bodies lying on the ground everywhere. And then there's just this one lone old man mage just looking at the village crying. And he's basically saying, this is kind of bullshit. And he's going off to say, hey, the mages of the world need to come together in order to protect things or stop things from happening like this and protect each other. And that, in a little text box we get at the end of that page, basically saying that it basically says this is how the first mage guild was made. Then we jump ahead 100 years and we see Fairy Tale. We see the Fairy Tale Guild. We get introduced to 3 brand new characters, although 2 of them leave in the beginning of the chapter. And we get to see all of the Fairy Tale members just hanging out in the guild. They might not all get lines, but we get to see all of them just hanging out, doing their thing. It's so exciting to see all the characters that you love so much, just being there, just hanging out. After a year of not seeing these characters anymore, it was just so exciting to see them again. But anyway, like I said, we get to see 3 new members of Fairy Tale joining, although 2 of them leave, and the only one to actually stay is this girl named Toka, who we find out is actually connected to Natsu. She tells us in the backstory, because if you haven't read the chapter, this girl's actually be kind of introduced as Natsu's own version of Juvia, a character who's just basically so obsessed with him and in love with him that she's kind of, borderline insane. But anyway, in fact, we even see Juvia just kind of crying in the corner because Gray left on the 100-year quest without her. But anyway, we meet this girl named Toka, right? And we find out that during the year that Fairy Tail was disbanded, while Natsu was out going around, traveling the world and training so he can defeat Acnologia and Zeref, he actually ended up coming across this girl when she was being attacked by bandits and he saved her. And ever since, she's actually been in love with him. And I guess it's kind of implied, they don't really say it in this chapter, but it's implied that during that time period after that, after he left on that journey and came back and, did the whole thing with the ending of Fairy Tale by defeating Acnologia and Zeref, she trained up in her magic and was actually able to pass the exam of joining Fairy Tale just so she can be with him again. But of course, she's actually kind of really disheartened when she finds out from Makarov and everyone else that Natsu's not there. And he's probably not going to be back for a long time because he actually went on the 100-year quest. The quest that no one has actually been able to beat, not even Gildarts himself. Well, speaking of Gildarts, we actually do get to see him a little bit in a flashback that Natsu has later on in the chapter. And I'm really hoping, if this is a true sequel, kind of like, how Boruto is a sequel to Naruto, I'm hoping that in the sequel we actually get to see Gildarts do more. Because that was my biggest complaint about Fairy Tail, the original one. Gildarts was built up to be such a badass, but we barely got to see him actually do anything throughout the entire series. So yeah, I'm hoping if this is a full-on sequel, we actually will get to see Gildarts do a lot more and live up to that badass title that he's been carrying around since he was introduced. Anyway, after that, we finally catch up with Natsu and the gang, and like I said, it was so fucking exciting to see these characters again after a year of not seeing them. And we find out that, in order to accept a 100-year quest, they actually had to go to the guild that actually created it, which was Magnia Dragon, I believe, or Magnoa Dragon. And we actually find out that it's actually in a completely different continent, and this is actually the first mage guild ever created. Assumingly by that mage that we saw at the end of or in the beginning of the chapter, who was that old man walking away from that destroyed village. Assumingly he was the one who actually created the first mage guild. But anyway, they're on this new continent, they're heading to the guild, and they see snow falling from the sky, which at first you don't really think too much about. Then when they get a closer look at it, they find out that this isn't snow. This is just condensed magic. And what we find out in the chapter that basically this continent is so rich in magic that it falls from the sky like snow. And there's even a point in the chapter where Natsu and Happy are kind of building snowmen and throwing snowballs at each other, just build off of this magic. Then we cut to that flashback I was talking about earlier, where we see Natsu and Gildarts kind of talking about the 100-year quest. And Gildarts basically telling him that he can't talk about the quest because when he signed up for it, he agreed never to speak of what exactly the quest is about. And only those who actually sign up for the quest can actually figure out what it actually is. And when Natsu's talking to him, he's like, "Hey, Guild Arts, you know the reason why you failed that quest is because you tried to be cool and a badass and go it alone. But I'm not gonna fail that way because instead of going alone to do the quest, I'm gonna take my friends and the 5 of us or 6 of us. Yeah, what's it? Natsu, Lucy, Gray, Urza, Wendy, Charlie, Happy. Yes, 7 of us are gonna complete the quest together, and we're gonna be the first ones ever, or the only ones ever, really, because after they complete it, no one's gonna need to again. But we're gonna be the first ones to complete the 100-year quest. Which, by the way, we find out in this chapter that is the reason why it's called the 100-year quest is because the quest has been available for over 100 years, and no one up at this point has been able to complete it. Anyway, after the flashback, the 7 of them actually end up at the guild. Which, by the way, the guild actually looks pretty badass. That's a giant dragon statue on top of it. But it looks at the same time a little run down. In fact, when they actually go inside the guild, they notice that it looks kind of abandoned and kind of like no one's actually taking care of it for the past like century at most. But anyway, when again they're all like, all right, well, no one's here. What the hell's going on? How are we going to accept the quest if no one from the guild is actually still here? But then Natsu and Wendy kind of pick up on something. They realize that no, someone is there. They sense a presence. And then what we find out is that the only surviving member, the only left member of this guild is a huge fucking dragon. This dragon looks so fucking badass. He has a giant beard. Which, by the way, the second I saw that beard, it reminded me of the beard from the old man that we saw in the beginning of the chapter. So I'm wondering if that old man actually was a dragon slayer, and he actually was, just like Acnologia, turned into a dragon after, just so long of being a dragon slayer. So, it has me wondering about that. We'll probably figure that out later on in the series, maybe next chapter or, a few chapters from now. But, yeah, that's pretty much where the chapter ends, where they get introduced to this guy, or this dragon, and he basically asks them, are you guys here to accept the quest? Will you be the first guild members, or will you be the first mages to finally complete the 100-year quest? And that's where the chapter ends. And so, like I said, this chapter was just had me so hyped. I mean, not a lot happened in this chapter. We got that big reveal about the dragon at the end of the chapter. We got to meet a brand new character. Which, by the way, I'm wondering, the fact that we met a brand new character in the beginning of this chapter, in the beginning of this, sequel to Fairy Tail, has me wondering if, is this going to be an actual full-on sequel, kind of like Boruto is? Because if they actually are going to be on the 100-year quest, the fact that this character is so connected to Natsu, and the fact that she's going to be like a Natsu supporting character, if they're going to be if the story's only going to focus on the 100-year quest, and, we're not going to see Natsu and the rest of them rejoin the guild until after the quest is over, then there's no point in introducing this character because if she's so connected to Natsu, because she's not going to see him again until the end of the series. So if it actually is going to continue on like Boruto did, past the actual 100-year quest after they complete it, or maybe the whole story will be them trying to complete the 100-year quest and have to go back to Fairy Tail at some point. Maybe, I don't know exactly how it's going to play out. But it has to be a full-on series if we're introduced to this brand new character. And she's so connected to the main character, but she's not going to actually end up meeting him until who knows when. But yeah, I do hope this ends up being a full-on series. Now, also, by the way, if you notice in this chapter while you're reading it that the art looks a little bit different than it usually does from Fairy Tail, that's because just like Kishimoto's the one doing the story behind Boruto, but he's not actually drawing the manga and, actually doing the overall thing, Hiro Mashima is actually just kind of going over the general story for Fairy Tail, and we have another artist actually writing and drawing it. So, yeah, and basically, that's the reason why the art looks a little different, because this guy, while he is doing pretty good job of, copying Hiro Mashima's style, he does have slight differences in his style that you can actually see when you're looking at characters like Lucy, Wendy, or Natsu. That is it for the chapter, and that's it for the video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, drop me a like, subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Comment down below with your thoughts and theories. I cannot wait to read the next chapter. I don't know what's coming out. I don't know if this is a monthly or weekly series. But either way, when the next chapter comes out, you can bet your ass I'm going to be talking about it. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.